Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Coffee Break Podcast. I am your host, Melissa.
And I'm your co-host, Elisa. Hello, everyone, and we have a guest today. We have Kamiya.
Hello, everyone. I'm Kamiya.
And I'd just like to give a shout out. She just got engaged, so congratulations.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
You've been together how long?
5 years now.
Wow.
Dang, girl. And she got him. She was like, yes. I love it. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, for those of you who are just jumping into this podcast and you're like, oh, do we congratulate people for their engagement? We do that, but we're mostly a coffee podcast where three friends who finally get together for a nice cup of coffee after a long, stressful week of work or quarantine if you don't want to go outside into the real world. We indulge in combos of entertainment, environmental news, and current events. And sometimes we even get to discuss our hobbies because everyone needs a little bit of venting, if you know what I mean. We also do a coffee of the day segment where we select one type of coffee or tea and give you fun facts or recipes to make them. So let's get a brewing. Let's see. Melissa, what's our coffee of the day?
I was about to say this old one that we did.
Cara. Oh my gosh, I can't pronounce it.
Carajillo.
Carajillo. Thank you. Carajillo. Yes, so that is our coffee, and it is a coffee cocktail. We're gonna fancy up in here. And this coffee was originated from Cuba and some parts of Spain.
And I've actually been to Cuba.
Have you?
I have. I went to Havana.
Oh.
And I will say I tried the rum and I also tried the coffee, and both were really, really good.
Oh.
Have you tried them together?
I haven't tried them together, but it does sound like it would work really well.
Yeah, it's very popular in Latin American cultures to mix coffee with liquor.
Yeah, a lot of the recipes I've been finding, like for coffee in general, has been like coffee mixed with liquor is from like Spanish heritage. And I'm like, oh, y'all know how to drink, huh? And this is a very old recipe. It was way back during their Independence War. They would give it to their soldiers to give them courage, kind of like how America did with the Americano. So because I remember we mentioned that a while ago.
That's right.
Yeah. So this coffee is mixed with they like to use the Core 43, but if you don't have that, you can also replace it with brandy, rum, or whiskey. I'm not even trying pronouncing the other one. So so you can also add sugar, cinnamon, and lemon. And so what you're going to do is that you're going to get they want to be fancy. You're going to get that nice cool glass. You're going to put some ice in it, or you can have it hot too, because they drink it both hot and cold, but they prefer to drink it cold. So you got to make a very strong cup of coffee. And then once you put your coffee in there, it's all mixed with the ice and everything like that. You're going to put the liqueur and the sugar in. You're going to mix it all together. And that's your drink. And it's amazing. I think. I don't know. I haven't tried it yet. I don't drink.
I want to try just about all of the drinks that we've talked about.
Honestly. And have you not tried them yet?
Not all of them, but I've tried a few.
How dare you?
Like I've tried the whipped coffee one. That one is pretty good.
Did you vlog it?
No, I didn't. Sorry.
Wow, you made that big of a mess.
It was just the Starbucks run.
Oh. I'm disappointed. Kamiya, would you try this drink?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Do you like rum? Is that your thing?
I do. I like rum, especially Cuban rum. If you can get Cuban rum, definitely get the Cuban rum. It's really smooth. So that's, I think, one of the best things about it is like a lot of times you drink rum, it's kind of got a bitter taste, but Cuban rum is like really smooth.
Ooh. I'm gonna have to try. I've tried ramen. That was one of my favorite if I do drink again, but I haven't been to Cuba, so I haven't tried it yet. But I'm gonna look forward to that. Melissa, would you try this?
I would try it. I'd go to Cuba just to try
I, I'm gonna go to the home
it.
now. Doesn't Cuba also have like their coffee is so strong there, right?
Oh yeah, it's really strong. It's so strong that they don't serve it in the same kind of serving size that we serve it traditionally in the US. It's almost like a small little espresso shooter glass that they serve it in.
Yeah.
And it's so strong that that's literally all you need.
Dang. Well, all right then. I saw in Gabriel Iglesias that he went to Cuba, and when he asked for he's like un café, and he's like okay. So, and that's the only thing I know how to say in Spanish with confidence, like un café. And he said he ordered it, and it gave him one of those little small shot espresso ones too. And then he said, "Oh no, I want it bigger." And they're like, "No, no, no, that's all you need." He's like, "No, I want it bigger." So he came back with like a mug full, like the size of like both my hands put together.
Oh my gosh.
And he was so wired for like the rest of the night. He's like, I couldn't sleep for like 2 days, and I was like, wow. So I'm like, I can imagine their coffees are really strong there.
Oh yeah, they have a really vibrant culture too. It's a beautiful country, really colorful. They have old classic cars everywhere, and yeah, it's a really fun place.
Yeah, I bet. I've seen several documentaries and of how like all the cars still look the same from like way back when.
Aw.
And it's
Yeah,
almost like a time capsule. Like
yeah, and they're beautifully restored. So it's like an old car, but it's like shiny with bright paint, and it looks like brand new.
Wow.
Yeah, from the pictures I've seen, they look really cool.
Yeah.
I would not be able to do that, but yes, it's
and they'll give you a tour around the city in the car, and you can go to the beach, you can go around Havana, and it's really fun.
Oh, we have to try it out one day. Melissa, what's it called? Work trip. Work trip. We'll put it on the
work trip.
Work trip. We have to do research there. It's very important.
Yeah.
We'll bring Kamiya with us so she can show us.
Yes.
We'll go to Havana.
The grand tour.
Yes. I would be so excited about that. But yeah,
that's your research assistant.
Yeah. Yes. Definitely. We'll all have to go and just be like, yeah, we're totally doing research there for the podcast and our vlogs. Yeah, totally. I mean, it's not a lie. Let's be honest. But yeah, that is our coffee of the day. How do you pronounce it again? Carajillo? Carajillo?
Carajillo.
Carajillo. I can't pronounce it. I'm sorry.
You say it so perfectly, Melissa.
Oh, and we're over here like Carajillo. Like
I Spanish help.
Yeah. Get one up that. Aren't you nice? But yeah, that's our coffee of the day. So for our topic for today, we still want to honor our sisters and brothers for this Black Lives movement. Black Lives Matter movement. There we go. Okay. I stuttered. I'm very sorry. So since we're on this topic, we still want to shine a light on what's going on. We asked Kamiya to come with us on the podcast and talk about her experience about the protesting in La Mesa.
Yes, and the protest in La Mesa was quite the experience. As I was telling you before, I never protested before in my whole life, so I wasn't really quite sure what to expect.
Yeah.
And, going there, I guess I'll say from the beginning, I was like, I really wanted to be a part of it. I knew I was passionate, and I was very hurt by George Floyd's graphic murder on video camera. Mm-hmm. And I know a lot of people were really hurt by it. And so after seeing that, it was kind of like this thing like, well, I'm so hurt and upset. What can I do? And I had decided that I wanted to utilize my right to protest for the first time ever. And so I decided to go to the Mesa protest. And it was really just I'd say it was just a really crazy experience, to say the least.
What was so like surreal for you when you went?
Well, I would say one of the most surreal things for me was just seeing all the people coming together, seeing all the signs, the community all in one place, and just the unity and solidarity was one of the most striking things for me that I feel like I'll always remember.
Mm-hmm. What did you go with a sign as well too?
Yes. So I did go with a sign. I had a Black Lives Matter sign, and it ended up actually taking me a little longer to make than I expected. So I got to the protest a little later than I had planned.
Mm-hmm.
And considering that it was my first protest, I wasn't aware that there's a completely different energy from the day to the nighttime.
Oh yeah.
So by the time that I had got there, the energy had already shifted as I was told. And many people told me, they're like, oh, when you got here, that's when everything kind of was changing. Earlier in the day, it was really peaceful, really calm. But by the time I had got there, yeah, there were still a lot of peaceful protests. But I did notice some people that were there that were a little more, I'd say, angry and destructive.
Mm-hmm. You kind of, yeah, near the end, I know at night it was like a lot of opportunists.
Yeah, I can attest to the definite shift change when it becomes much darker. It's like it brings out something in people because it's nighttime and you can be a little bit more secretive, I guess. But um, I think it just takes away a lot from the message that George Floyd wouldn't have wanted something like this. But at the same time, we need to remember that people's outrage is very valid, and and their anger is valid, and we can purchase the things that have been broken. We can buy those things back, or we can pay for them to be repaired, but we can't repair the lives that have been taken, and I guess people need to remember that.
I agree with you 100%. And one of the things that I feel a lot of people forget is that the looting and the riot is a symptom of the issue, but the real issue is police brutality. That's a real issue at hand, and I feel like it's important to focus on that because that's what we need to focus on in order to see some real change.
Absolutely.
And you can start seeing the change that's forming. And it does hurt me a little bit, like not a little bit, a lot, that it took so many lives and it took so many protests for people to speak up about how to treat a human being, for Minneapolis police to shift their criteria and their trainings from the law enforcement to a peace officer. They're trying to disband their entire police force, like the entire Minneapolis police force, and they're going to be retraining and training new people on not using like certain forces or how to deal with situations without like weapons or force on the people. Because in like in other countries, like in Europe, I know in London, they don't carry all these weapons on them. Like maybe they'll have like a small handgun or something like that, but they don't have these crazy weapons like they do in our
like most
country.
of them just carry pepper spray. And
Yeah.
And I believe the mayor of Minneapolis was also saying that they want to remove some of the excessive force that's been used that's proven to be dangerous, such as the chokeholds and I think like the kneeling on the neck in order to gain control of the suspect. Those things have been proven to be really dangerous and sometimes not necessary. So with the removal of some of those excessive force tactics, we're hoping that people will feel more safe when they're interacting with the police again and restore some of that trust.
Yeah, because and that's what we need. We need that trust between it, and we need to reframe the whole police system with
Yeah,
everything that's been going on.
yeah.
I know in LA, the mayor took $150 million out of fundings from the police and
Hmm.
shared it to communities of color because he was very upset and he was like, I'm not standing for this either.
Yeah.
And San Diego wants to disband by using like certain weapons and artillery on like protesters and just people in general. So there's a lot that's been changing and there's a lot of like stuff that's happening, but it's just I don't know why it was taking this long for you guys to understand that
Yeah.
police brutality is an issue and
Mhm.
a lot of people who aren't educated in this keep thinking, well, don't do bad things. Well, that's not the case because we won't be doing something bad and then all of a sudden we're getting arrested or something or getting pulled over or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I actually also read that some people were basically saying that it's not enough to just see something that's a problem, but you also have to utilize your voice and speak up and say, hey, there's
Hmm.
a problem here. We need to fix it. And by using our voices and stuff like that, we're doing a lot of good to draw attention to this issue. And I will say that in my experience as a Black woman is like a lot of times these things we don't talk about. And
Hmm.
we kind of just brush them off, or it's intense to talk about racial issues. But for the first time in my life, I can see a lot of people in the country stepping up and having these conversations and
Yeah.
acknowledging that there is an issue with the police system in this country, and that we need reform. And
Yeah.
so for me, that's been really beautiful to have that space to have these conversations when it's something
Mhm.
that's always been kind of like, well, we know how it is and we just don't talk about it. That's just how it is. But now we're talking about it and now we're addressing the opportunities for change. And I think that's really powerful.
Yeah, absolutely. Very powerful.
Yeah, seeing all the changes and seeing people like speak up. I'm also seeing a lot of now acquaintances or just people I know now, seeing friends I thought were my friends on my Facebook showing their true colors and
Oh, yeah.
in the negative light, not understanding why people are shouting Black Lives Matter. And I've been doing a lot of graphic designs for Black Lives Matters. And seeing like sharing those posts, sharing it with people, I see the good and I see the bad, you know what I
Hmm.
mean? And I see a lot of negative, especially from I don't see them as my family anymore, but they're still blood family, I guess. But I see a lot of my half family on the East Coast being very negative, being very tunnel vision, not understanding, and saying these comments. And I do love my friends who like stood up and was like, no, shut you down. This is not okay. What you
Yeah.
said was not fine. And like I've been very um communicative on my social media, and if I hear it in person I stop and I talk because I don't want them to believe I'm just going to get angry. I'm not. I don't want anger to be my voice. I want us to communicate and talk.
Hmm.
Yeah, and I'm glad you said that, because I'll say from my own experience this past couple of weeks that I feel like anger is something that we all have to manage
Mhm.
productively.
Yeah.
And it's okay to be passionate about something and recognize that you're hurt by something, but it's important not to wallow in that anger and to do something productive to make a difference instead of just being angry and arguing with someone. you know Use your voice, use the things that you can do to be productive, to
Hmm.
channel that anger into something that can actually make a difference.
Hmm.
Mhm. Yes,
Yeah,
I
for sure.
100% agree. Now I have another question for you, Miss Kamaya. So, what is a way for people, especially with COVID happening right now, what is another way people who aren't comfortable going to like protest? Because I can understand that some people aren't comfortable going into like large crowds or have anxiety or just they're worried, you know? What is ways that they can still help and
Or be
still
part of
have,
the program.
yeah, be part of it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, and then not everyone is made for the front line, so it's important not to guilt trip yourself if you're not able to be there. And this is especially true for someone who can be disabled, chronically ill, a caretaker, someone with small children, someone who's a nurse or doctor, someone who's just not able to protest for any reason. Some of the things that you can do would be donate medical supplies to people who are working as medics at the protest. You can bring food and water and drop it at a protest location so that people in that area can have access to those things if they get hungry or they get thirsty. You can volunteer at non-hot zones to supply food and water. You can educate people around you in your circle on what they can do and why we're in this position. You can pick up people that you know, friends or family from protest, if they are, you know, not wanting to drive their cars, or if something happens, they need a ride. You can offer to watch the kids or children of your friends who want to protest, and you can confront people in your circle who are racist or have racist tendencies that they may not be aware of. You can educate them and enlighten them on why maybe some of the things that they say could be problematic or insensitive to the movement. Other things you can do would be you could donate directly to frontline people and organizations. You can write letters and call prosecutors of Black Lives Matter cases that are being recognized right now and demand justice for individuals such as Breonna Taylor, who is another person who was affected by a really unjust killing by the police. And so, yeah, you can also write letters and call those prosecutors in those cities and demand justice. And lastly, it's important to rest and take care of yourself and self-love and everything like that so that you can be a part of the movement. We can't pour from an empty cup. So it's important to take care of yourself first and keep your spirits high.
Very true.
I agree. I like all that, Kamiya, that all the references and all the materials that we can use, and that's mostly what I've been doing.
Yeah.
Just trying to help as much as I can with everything. I was emailing, not protesting. Okay, I was emailing, calling. Actually went with my church. We all, because they were in La Mesa, and I was checking in on them, and they all did a silent, like 8 minute of silence for George Floyd. And we went there, and they're so professional because they were literally like, okay, this is your spot here. Okay, 6 feet. This is your spot here. Okay, 6 feet. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. So we were doing that, and it was cool because like we just cleaned up the area that we were in. We didn't go into the crazy area with all the big fires because that area was mostly cleaned up by the time we were done with our area. And so just like seeing that kind of stuff and just trying to be a voice too.
Yeah, actually, that's a good thing. Like, shout out to all the people who cleaned up after the protests, because I feel like we don't give them enough attention. And I've been seeing some posts on like people who have stayed behind for hours just cleaning up trash and picking things up, and it's amazing that like we can all just do our own part. And maybe that's something that you can do if you want to take part, but not like fully be in it. Just kind of get involved in your own way.
And like Kamiya was saying, like don't guilt trip yourself because you do have to be 100% to go to these protests, and if you're not 100% comfortable, that's okay because there's other ways of doing it. And even like donating to like causes and charities, and even shopping and going to stores that are owned by Black communities and owners, that's a way to help as well. Because I know one of the places I want to go to, because I had a list of them, is a Breakfast Bitch. That's one of the places I want to go to and try out because one is breakfast and they have an amazing name. So
yeah, right in Hillcrest too.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. It's all local in our area. Sorry for those who are listening in another state and you're like, I wish I could have that.
And you can't forget Rhythm's Chicken and Waffle in Pacific Beach.
Yes, that one is on top of my list. What my friend gave me. So it's that one, and then I do want to try. I'm not a vegan, but I love vegan food. I want to try the spoiled vegan cafe.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, that sounds good.
I know. I'm like, I'm not vegan. I'm not hating on vegan. I just this I love vegan food, but I want to try that out.
Yes, yes. I love that.
So we're gonna look into all those. So yeah, just trying to call your state senators too and everything. Just spam them all with having justice and everything. That's a way to do it. Because I know a lot of my friends were talking to me and they feel like they feel down and they were guilt tripping themselves, like you said, Kamiya. And I was like, well, what else have you guys been doing? And they were
Yeah.
doing all the other stuff like emailing, calling, and signing petitions.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot to be done. And like you were saying earlier, it's a lot. It's a lot. And one of the things that is important to mention is that it's important to be prepared if you're going to go
Yeah.
to these protests. And that means bringing your bottle of water, bringing your
Yep.
snacks, wearing comfortable shoes, bringing sunscreen, just those little essential things that you might need because it can turn into a longer event than planned. You may end up doing some walking. You may start in one location and end up marching to another location. So it's just very important to be prepared and be prepared to be mobile as well.
Yeah. And oh yeah, definitely. And
Right.
also staying in touch socially on social medias is also very helpful so you don't get lost in case things do end up moving. A good place that I'm currently looked into is March for Black Women SD. They're a good page on Facebook that you can find that they organize a good majority of the marches, and they update pretty frequently. So if you do plan on going to any of the protests, you can find any information that you might need there. And also Black Lives Matter SD on Instagram. We can put the links in the description if you guys need those as well. And we can post them on our other social medias as well.
We will do those for you guys. So you don't have to keep scrolling back on this podcast for the name of it. But
Yeah.
So is there any other advice or anything else you would like to discuss, Ms. Kamiya?
I guess lastly, the only thing we didn't really touch on is just the protest itself in La Mesa.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there were a lot of different things going on. So there was a majority of the people that were there were peaceful. There were a lot of people saying George Floyd's name. People yelled, "No justice, no peace, no racist police." That was a common one that was said. And for the most part, it did begin as a peaceful protest. However, once it got dark, the energy did shift quite a bit, and there were some people that you could tell weren't there to be a part of the movement or be peaceful, but more there to cause trouble and kind of opportunistic. And they began to set fires. I saw some of the things that I saw were just really, really striking. I almost couldn't sleep when I got home because it was something like out of a movie.
Yeah, I bet. Like, it could be very surreal. And another thing we should all look out for are the fake protesters that are just there for pictures or to be destructive. And that's definitely something we all need to look for and, call them out when it happens, that it's not very appropriate. It's not an appropriate time to be taking pictures like that or doing things for the wrong reasons.
Exactly.
I agree with you. Because you always have those opportunists who just try to just take advantage of the situation instead of being there for the right reason. They're just taking advantage of what's going on around them.
Oh yeah, and it was sad to see that and to see people, just causing a lot of destruction and kind of creating a space for the protesters to not feel safe and to not
Right.
feel like they can, you know, enact their right to protest and feel kind of like, well, I better go. So once those
Yeah.
good protesters and peaceful protesters left, there's really nobody to confront all of the violent and opportunistic people that remain.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's very unfortunate.
it is. And I'm like, can we not, guys? Let's just not. That would be fantastic. But yeah, no, I agree with you guys. It does break my heart to see that sometimes. And um, but yeah, like Melissa said, shout out to those who clean up the next day.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
heard people were cleaning up since 3 a.m. and I was like, whoa,
Yeah.
that's
Pretty
crazy.
crazy.
It is. But yeah. Oh, another probably protest tip. Don't go at night.
Yes.
Don't, especially if it's going to be your first one, don't go at night.
Don't go at night. If it's your first protest, get there early. And when it starts to get late, go home.
Yeah.
Yep. I went to one of the women's protests, and I went during the day. I know nothing was gonna happen at night, but I didn't trust people, so we went during the day for like 2 hours, and then we left because I only brought water, not food, and my friend brought snacks because she's smart and brilliant. Um, and I was done because I also wore shoes that were very uncomfortable.
Oh,
But I wanted to show off my new boots. I thought they were hiking boots, but then I found out later they were not hiking boots. So that was of interesting, but it was very loving community. Of course, like we had people yelling some negative stuff at us, but we honestly just killed them with kindness. We're
yeah.
like, fine, we love you too. Okay, walk away, go, 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 go. So, yeah, I was like we said, wear comfortable stuff and be prepared. But yeah. So, is there anything else you would like to communicate with the rest of us, Kamiya?
Do you have anything that you want to plug in?
Plug.
I just want to say that I think it's really awesome what you guys are doing. I really appreciate you guys using your voice and creating the space where we can have this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a really powerful tool, and I appreciate you too for that.
Yeah,
Oh,
of course.
she's so sweet. We appreciate you too.
I'm
Thank
happy
you.
to be a guest, yeah, and I hope that you guys check out my YouTube channel. I post videos every Friday, new workout videos and healthy recipes, and I think that's a great way to keep your energy high, keep your spirits high, and keep your vibes good.
All
Yeah.
right.
And yeah, you guys should check it out. I'm very, 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 very out of shape. Like walking upstairs makes me die. But Kamaya's is very good. I like her yoga. That was my favorite.
What
Yeah.
was your YouTube channel again?
Oh yes, it's called Get Fit with Kamiya.
Okay, Get Fit with Kamiya. Everyone go subscribe to her.
Yes, please.
Show her some love.
The love.
Yep. That's all we're here for, to share and spread the love.
Yep.
So yes, guys, you have to check out her workouts. She's has a welcoming personality, so you're gonna love it.
Yay! Thank you.
Of course. And if you like what we do here, please like, share, subscribe, and ring the bell for more notifications.
Especially if you're on our YouTube, and follow
And
and download on Podbean.
and our other social medias. It's very helpful when you do.
We have our uh, account called Elite 23 Shopping, where we are also creating more Black Lives Matters merch there to have all the proceeds go to donations and charities. So look out for those. Check out elite23shopping.com, and you get 30% discount on your whole purchase if you put code CBP. Yeah, it's been a while. CBP for 30% off your whole purchase. So thank you guys for listening. We want to thank you again, Miss Kamiya, for joining us.
Thank you guys for having me.
Of course, thank you so much. And thank you guys for listening. We'll see you in the next episode.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.